Welcome to the deep dive. Ever wondered why those big goals sometimes just fade away, even when you start strong? Today, we're doing a deep dive into habit formation, looking at the amazing ideas from Atomic Habits. It's pretty fascinating how tiny changes can lead to, well, huge results down the line.
That really is the core question, isn't it? And our mission today is to kind of unpack all that, to pull out the really practical, usable bits of wisdom, because the main message is pretty powerful.
Yeah.
Just improving by 1% each day, if you stick with it, can genuinely lead to shocking results over time. Seriously.
Okay, so where do we start? How do we build these systems? The book lays out this great framework, the 4 laws of behavior change. First up is the cue, make it obvious.
Right. And what's really key here is understanding your triggers, the things that kick off a habit, and then consciously, designing your environment around them. It's more than just like putting running shoes by the door. Think digital too.
Hmm.
Hiding distracting apps maybe, or putting that meditation app front and center on your phone. That shapes things silently.
Okay, obvious is step 1. But then you actually have to want to do it. That's law 2. Craving, make it attractive. How do we do that, especially for habits we kind of dread?
Yeah, that's a big hurdle. One technique is called temptation bundling. Basically, you link something you want to do with something you need to do, so you make the process itself more enjoyable, or at least associate it with something positive. Your brain starts looking forward to it, anticipating that bit of pleasure.
So, obvious, attractive, got it.
Yeah.
But the third law, response, make it easy. This feels like where a lot of us fall down, right? Is there a trick here?
Oh, absolutely. And the solution offered is, frankly, brilliant. It's the 2-minute rule. Whatever the new habit is, just start with 2 minutes. Read 1 page, do 2 push-ups, meditate for 120 seconds. The point isn't just starting small, it's making the starting point almost ridiculously easy. Removing friction, removing excuses. It's about showing up. That's the win.
I like that. Just show up. Okay, so obvious, attractive, easy. Then we need to close the loop. Law 4. Reward 1, make it satisfying. How do we make sure that feeling sticks and keeps us going?
Well, our brains love instant gratification, right? So giving yourself some kind of immediate small reward right after doing the habit really works. And tracking your progress visually. Seeing a chain of X's on a calendar or a graph going up, that becomes its own reward. It reinforces the whole loop.
Makes sense. Now, beyond these 4 laws,
hmm
there's some really powerful underlying principles. I found the idea of identity-based habits fascinating. Can you unpack that?
Yeah, this one's deep. It shifts the focus from what you want to achieve, like I want to run a marathon, to who you want to become. So instead of saying, I want to read more, you start thinking, I am a reader. That change in self-perception makes it much easier, more natural to do the actions that align with that identity. It's really powerful.
That completely reframes it. Less like a chore, more like who you are. And that connects nicely to another idea, habit stacking. How does that fit in?
Right. Habit stacking is super practical. You just piggyback a new habit onto one you already do reliably. The classic example is something like, after I pour my morning coffee, I will meditate for 1 minute. You use the momentum of the existing habit.
And this loops back to environment design, which you mentioned earlier. It sounds like it's not just a one-time setup.
Exactly, not at all. Your environment is constantly influencing you. So actively shaping your physical and digital spaces to make the good habits easier and the bad ones harder, that's an ongoing strategy. It's crucial.
But, okay, what about when you're doing all this? You're being consistent, but nothing seems to be happening. That's the plateau of latent potential, right? People get discouraged here.
Oh, definitely. It's so common. And it's vital to understand this concept. Small improvements often build up under the surface, unseen for a while. Think of ice melting, nothing, then suddenly it changes state. You have to trust the process, trust those tiny gains are accumulating, even when you don't see immediate results.
Trust the process. Good advice. And lastly, there's don't break the chain. Consistency is key, but, life happens. What's the rule if you slip up?
The key thing is, missing 1 day is okay. It happens. Don't beat yourself up. The really critical part is getting back on track immediately the next day. The advice is pretty strong. Try never to miss twice in a row. 1 miss is an accident. 2 is the start of a new, unwanted habit. Recovering quickly is just as important as the streak itself.
Okay, that's helpful. Don't let one slip become 2.
Exactly. And to sort of wrap all this up, there's a really profound quote that captures it. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. It just highlights that focusing on building those solid, reliable habits, the system, is ultimately more important than just dreaming about the goal.
Powerful stuff. So for everyone listening, maybe think about this. What's just one tiny, almost insignificant atomic habit you could start today? Something really small. It might just be the little nudge that leads to some really remarkable changes down the road. Worth considering, right?